So you're looking for the best place to find homes in Tampa Bay, Florida. Well, today I'm going to take you under the hood, so to speak, and show you what tools we use as professional real estate agents to look for houses for our clients, and the little tips and tricks and tactics that we use to make sure that we get an advantage versus the other agents out there, so our home buyers can have the best opportunity to be first to market. Hey everyone, Juan Alcala here with the True Living Group in Tampa, Florida. And if this is your first time to the channel, we make videos, all things Tampa Bay, what it's like to live here, what it's like to work here, what it's like to play here, the food, the dining, the outdoors, the beaches, and the sunshine. If this is your first time to the channel, make sure you hit that little subscribe button and also click that bell. That way you can be notified every time we drop a new video like this. We are getting calls from people just like you all over the country who are considering moving, relocating to the Tampa Bay area. Heck, even investors come into the area as well. You can DM, text message, email, however you got to get hold of us. We've got your back when it comes to moving to Tampa Bay. All right, so the one thing we're going to do today is we're going to go under the hood, so to speak, and I'm going to show you how to filter through a lot of the noise out there when it comes to searching for a home in any area. Maybe it's the location you're in currently, but especially when it comes to moving to Tampa, Florida, because the one thing about these websites out there is that most of the websites that you come across when you go in and search, best homes in Tampa, Florida, or, houses for sale in Tampa, Florida, is you're going to come across a bunch of ads first. And a lot of those ads are from very large companies. We call them ZTR, the Zillow, Truly a Realtor groups. And those companies were marketers first, meaning that their only goal was to get you to click on it, come to the website so that they could turn around and sell your information to a pile of real estate professionals on the back end. And if you've ever clicked on one of those buttons before, you know exactly what I'm talking about, because now you get hit up by a dozen real estate professionals who are ready to help you buy and sell. And while there's nothing wrong with that, I know it can be frustrating. So what I want to do is first and foremost tell you that that's probably not the best place to start your search if you don't like being bothered. So just a heads up on that. They do have some very good tools. We all know that Zillow is one of the most well-known real estate websites on the planet. And I'll be honest with you, their app's great. However, when you click on that button, just know what you're about to be in for. It's like asking for an insurance quote if you've ever done that before. So be mindful of that. But the other thing is, remember, that website is only designed to get you to click the get more info button so they can turn around and sell your information. So I want to make sure that I share that with you. So what that means is that they're leaving a lot of the information up that isn't useful to you today. And what I mean by that is they'll put for pre-foreclosures, which, remember, if you don't pay your mortgage on the second day of the month, technically you're in pre-foreclosure, just so you know. And that happens at the bank level, which is amazing. They share that information with these portals, right, with the public actually, and then the public pushes that information out to portal sites like Trulia and Zillow and all these other sites. Okay. So that information is not useful to you. As a home buyer, you can't buy that house yet. It's not on the market. It's still got to go through foreclosure. If it ever gets there, most likely they just haven't made their mortgage payment yet. They're probably going to make it on the 3rd. It happens, y'all. This is part of the deal. So that information is useless to you. But what does it do? It most likely gets you to click because you're like, oh, this house is in pre-foreclosure. There's probably a deal to be had, but that house is not coming to the market. There's probably a 99.9% chance that the mortgage is going to get paid. Or if it does go into default, that it's going to be bought back by the bank, because we all know that home values are through the roof right now, right? So keep that in mind when you show up on these sites. Pre-foreclosures, foreclosures, these things are not really available to us right now because the inventory levels are so low. Is it possible? Sure. Is it likely? No, it's less than a 0.1% chance that that is actually real. So that's a marketing tactic. It's a ploy to get you to do that. Okay. So be mindful of that when you go to these sites. If you're going to use one of those portal sites, jump right on there and go to your filter and click on remove foreclosures remove pre-foreclosures, remove land and mobile homes if that's not of your interest. Whatever it is that you're searching for, you really want to filter down and niche down to what it is exactly that you're looking for. And I'm going to show you guys exactly how to do that today, and more importantly, how to get the edge over other home buyers by doing these exact things. Because remember, you have a specific home in your mind you're trying to purchase. You don't need to see 1,000 houses and filter through all those. What you need to find is the 3 to 5 that actually make sense and work best for you. So I'm going to show you exactly what we do when we have consultations with buyers who are out of town or even in town, how exactly we use that information and to get that slight edge. So if that interests you, let's jump in, y'all. All right, y'all. So the first thing I want to do is jump in right away and show you exactly what I was referring to. Okay, so this is the most popular site on the internet for searching for homes. And I understand why. It is actually very easy to use. It's great to look at. It's fun to be around. So what we're going to do is we're going to jump in here and look at Hyde Park, which is just outside of downtown Tampa. This is one of the quote unquote more desirable areas in Tampa Bay. You know, look up the statistics on that. I'm not telling you it is or it isn't. But what I want to show you is how to use sites like this. So the first thing that I'm going to do is jump in here, because when you jump on Zillow or Realtor.com or Redfin or whatever it is, typically what happens is your search settings are set to a default mode. And what happens is that includes a bunch of properties that you actually can't purchase. And we're going to go through those. I'm going to try to be quick here so you guys can understand this. But why I'm sharing this with you is because if you want to learn how to get an edge versus other home buyers, the way that you do that is you identify the homes that are actually for you quicker than anybody else, filter through the rest of the noise, and move on them quickly, especially in a market like today. Here in Tampa Bay, the market is still hot. Properties that are the best are still selling in days, multiple offers. Properties that aren't necessarily the best, the ones that maybe the sellers haven't invested in 30 years, they haven't changed the bathroom or the kitchen, those properties are sitting around a little bit longer, and we're starting to see some price reductions. But I want to show you how to use these tools, okay? So we're going under the hood here. And when you come in here and you have all of these filter settings set in the default position, what it does is it puts a bunch of properties in here that you don't actually have access to and you can't actually purchase. Why? Well, because this company here used to be a marketing agency. They are now a brokerage, but that only happened because they recognized there was more money in buying and selling than there was buying and selling leads to agents. And what do I mean by that? Well, this site, and they still do it, by the way, when you log in here and you find one of these homes and you click the get more information button, they send that information off to somewhere between 3 and 12 agents that are in the market here. And the next thing that happens is you get a bunch of phone calls and text messages from strangers, y'all. That's how these sites work. And they made their money for years by selling your information to real estate agents so that those agents had an opportunity to work with a buyer or seller. Now, there's nothing wrong with a real estate professional working with a buyer or seller. I'm a real estate agent, y'all. This is what I do for a living. But just know that's what the site was created for. And it never shifted out of that mode visually, meaning that it still looks the same and it's still set up the same way. It's designed to get you to click on all the houses, keep you on there longer, so you can click on more houses and they can sell more leads to more agents. So just know what this site was designed to do. Now, it's easy to use. It's great to look at. I'm not negative on any of that stuff, but just be aware how it works. So I want to run through this really quickly, y'all. When it comes to buying a home, when you're looking at a site like this, I want to show you how to use it to your advantage, okay? When you come in here and you see things like pending, under contract, accepting backup offers, foreclosure, pre-foreclosure, there's a lot of jargon here. This is industry jargon for real estate professionals. And I want to walk you through it really quick. Okay. Foreclosed means that the home is foreclosed on, but that does not mean that the home is necessarily available. As a matter of fact, most likely it is not available to purchase. Okay. And I'll explain these a little bit more as we go down the road. Pre-foreclosure, let me put it this way. If you own a home and you did not make your mortgage payment on the first of the month, By the second of the month, technically you're in pre-foreclosure. Are you in danger of losing your house on day 2? The answer is no. So that information is not of value to you because that home is not available for sale. And most likely it's never coming to the market to be for sale. Accepting backup offers. This means that the seller has a written contract that both the seller and the buyer have signed, so they have a binding agreement. And unless that contract falls apart, be it inspections or appraisals or one of the many things that can happen in real estate, that home is not available for sale. It is, however, accepting backup offers. So in theory, the home is available to go look at, but the odds of you purchasing that home are very slim because it's already under contract. Pending under contract, which is the important one. When a property moves from active, which active means it's an available property to purchase, that there's no contingencies, the property is listed, they're entertaining all offers, bring them to me, right? Once the seller accepts a contract, they're now pending. They're either pending or accepting backup offers. Some sellers don't want to entertain backup offers. They don't want people continually coming through the house once they accept a contract. Does this make sense? So if you look at all these filters on here, foreclosures. So again, the foreclosure process takes time. It's 90 days before they can foreclose on your home. Then they have to take you to court. Then at that point, the foreclosure takes place. It goes down to the county. The county is able to sell that property at a foreclosure auction. The banks typically buy them back, especially in a market like this. Because why? Because properties are worth a lot of money right now, and it doesn't make sense for a bank to have foreclosure because most likely most people have equity in these homes, especially if they've been in there for more than 3 years. So foreclosures are not necessarily a good thing to look for because in this market, there's very few of them. If you look at auctions, well, an auction is the same thing, same type of activity that we just talked about with foreclosure. But maybe it moves to an auction site off-site, meaning that there's auction.com where you can purchase homes that way. But again, it's cash only. There are restrictions revolved around this. So we're going to set up a scenario here. Let's say you're a home buyer looking for the average home in the Tampa Bay area, which is a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, okay? What you want to do to be first to these new properties, the ones that you can actually purchase that fit your needs, is you want to come in here and remove this stuff. And I want to show you how important it is. If you look to the right over here, you can see 22 properties listed by agents, and there are 2 other listings as well. Those 2 other listings are typically either for sale by owner or they're a pre-foreclosure or a foreclosure, just so you know. So if we come back over to the other side, the 22 properties, I want to go back to the filter. And I want you to look at that number as I start removing these things. Coming soon status, we don't have a coming soon status here in Tampa Bay, Florida. That does apply to other states. Georgia has a 21-day coming soon, which means that they can pre-market the property before it's technically available for sale. I know Michigan, where we're from, that has a 7-day. In Florida, we don't have it, okay? So you're going to remove coming soon, probably nothing's going to happen, as you can see. Remove auction properties. Nothing happens to the amount of properties available. Remove foreclosures. Nothing happens to the amount of properties available. Get the gist of this here, right? Let's remove the foreclosed properties. These are actually foreclosed. Nothing is available. And I'm showing you the guys this in real time on a site that I don't own. Moving to pre-foreclosure. That removed 1 other listing. You see that? You remember, they could be 1 day late on their mortgage and it showed up there. Now let's move into accepting backup offers. Remember, this means that the seller accepted an offer, and in order for them to take your offer, if they take a backup, the first deal is going to have to fall apart. So we click that button, nothing changed. Here's where things are going to get dramatically different. If we remove the pending properties, this means the seller has accepted a property. They're no longer showing the home. Most likely they can, but most likely they're no longer showing the home, but they're not entertaining backup offers, which means this house, it makes no sense for me as a home buyer to go look at a home like this. There's no value in that. Now, you can keep it there. So if you're not on a time crunch and something happens to that property, meaning it does fall out of contract, you can make a move on it, right? But let's see what happens when we click this button. We went from 22 properties down to 5. And then here's the next thing. For new construction in the Tampa Bay area currently at the time of this recording, depending on what home builder you use, you're looking at building times from anywhere from 12 to 18 months. There are some buyers or some builders out there that do have some availability in the next 6 to 9 months. Typically, those are properties that fell out of contract, like we were talking about, pending under contract, but they fell out of contract. Maybe the buyer's financing fell through, they lost their job, whatever it is. If we remove this one, what does that put us down to? Holy wow. We went from 22 available listings on the agent listings down to 3 available properties. Well, let's remove this last category, which is by owner, which means that this is a for sale by owner, which is what that's called, which also means that the seller decided that they don't want a real estate professional representing them for whatever reason. Maybe they're trying to save a buck. Maybe they think that they can sell houses. Maybe they sold a bunch of houses in the past and they're really good at it. We don't know what it is, but if we remove that category, what does it do? It removed the one other listing. Now we're down to 3 available properties in the marketplace, y'all. And this is why this is so important. If you learn how to use these sites to your advantage, you can have the slight edge over those other home buyers or home sellers in the market because you know what's going on and you're aware. All right. So what I want to do is I want to take you over to the Pro Tools. This is what we were talking about earlier. So this is my personal website. I'm a real estate agent with EXP. I run a real estate team. We're called the True Living Group. Okay. And if you come to our website, you just click on the little button here. And this is tampabayhomesearch.com, y'all. I'm going to teach you how to use this just like the pros do. So our site is built out very similar to what you just saw. But the one thing I want to do is I want to teach you how to filter this down to put this in your advantage. If you want to, again, you want that slight edge on other home buyers, I want to show you this. So right now it's showing you the amount of homes that are available in Tampa, Florida specifically, but let's just niche this down and run the last scenario we were using before. Okay, we're going to have a max price of 1 million because that's what we had on the other side, and we do have plenty of homes in the area that are $1 million. So I want to get that out there for you guys. Let's just say that that there's no houses over $300,000 that interest you. And then, well, let's go back to a mid-range scenario. So we're going to go 3 to 600 because this is more likely a common scenario here in Tampa, Florida. So we're going to jump into this 3 bedrooms minimum. That's what you're looking for. For bathrooms, you're looking for a 2-bathroom minimum. And then property type, we're looking for a single family home specifically. You want to get that. Otherwise, you're going to get condos or townhouses. But if you're looking for a condo or townhouse, make sure you click that button. Now, here's where the real magic happens. We're going to start getting really granular, and we're going to find the exact type of property that you're looking for, because this is what this is all about. It's not about the agents. It's not about anybody other than you. We're trying to help you find the right house. So when you jump in here, what is the purchase type? Do you want to sell or rent? Because that shows up on all these sites too. Well, I'm looking to buy a home. Okay, perfect. Days on site. That means how many days has that property been listed for sale? You can filter this to use to your advantage. I want properties that have only been listed in the last how many days? Last 3 days. That is a hot property. These are brand new properties to the market. So that's a great way to filter that, because anything other than that most likely is not the best property in the market. But you can back that out a little bit. And also, if you're an investor, you can say more than. Well, I want properties that have been on the market for more than 30 days because now I know those properties are most likely to have price reductions on them coming up soon. So use this either way to your advantage, y'all. This is a great tool, but let's just say less than 7 days. Okay, so we're filtering these properties down one by one. There's a ton of houses. There's over 1,000 houses when we started. The listing status, this is what I was talking about when we were on the other site. You want to hit active properties, okay? When you click back to market here, back to market goes to an active status as well, but you can do that. Remember, we don't have a coming soon. Stay away from pending. You're most likely not to see that house. And once the house goes from pending, it's either going to go off the market, which means it's not available, right? Or it's going to go back to an active status. So you're going to see it here anyway. So don't worry about that one. Property style. Well, we already said we want a single family home. You can tell it whether you want it to be a townhouse, single family, like we talked about before. You can get even farther down here. There's farms on here, anything you want to know. Property details. We get a lot of phone calls and, hey, Juan, I'm looking for a property that's no less than, this is the typical conversation. I don't want it less than X. And we'll just put 1,800 square feet because that's a pretty good number here. Well, let's go to 1,600 because there's a lot of homes in Tampa that are 1,600 square feet. So now if you wanted a property with an acre or two, you could put that in here. We're not going to find very many in Tampa specifically, but you could use that filter here. Let's say you wanted a half-acre lot. You can put that number in the lot size. The year built. Why is this important? Well, in the Tampa area, a lot of our homes are older. If you're looking for a newer construction home, you could put that in here, not a new construction specifically. You can do that on this site as well, but maybe you want a house that's built in the last 10 years. Okay. So you could go back and say 2012. I don't want a house that the minimum is 2012. And you can see how quickly that filtered down just to the left of this. We're going to leave that open. Special conditions, if there are any. If you were looking for those auction properties, again, if you're an investor and you're trying to get an edge on people, this is where you would go. Architectural style. Would you prefer? Most of the homes in Florida here are ranch style homes. We do have 2 stories, but you can get it in there. Right now in a hot market, leave that thing open. Don't mess with that. Parking features. Do you want a garage? How many spaces do you want? Because there are houses that don't have a driveway. St. Petersburg is a great example. They have them there. Heating, I'm not worried about heating, but if you're interested in that, you can. Most of the houses here don't need them. We use our heat like 2 days a year. It's not important to us. We could actually get away without it, but they're there. Here's what I will say. You have to have central air in Florida. Click that button. Anybody that doesn't have central air in there, unless you're interested in, spending the $7 to $10 grand to do it, I would strongly encourage you to stay away. Garages. I want to talk about this specifically. There are a lot of conversions of garages to bedrooms here in Florida. So this is something to be mindful of. If you want garage, make sure you come in here and put, I want at least a 2-car garage. Do you see how many homes moved out of that? Let's go back. I'll show you. Look just to the left of this. We're going to remove it. All those homes just came back. As soon as we put in 2-car garage, watch them all disappear. That is why that's important. Do you want waterfront? Well, in Tampa, this is going to be a little more complicated, but you can get Gulf access and make sure that it absolutely makes it available to you. If you're looking anywhere else in the area and you want to be in a canal or you want to be on a lake, you can filter through that also, which is great. Here's another key point I want to make sure that we point out here. Monthly HOA fees. If you buy a condo or a townhouse, you have HOA fees, and they can get pretty expensive pretty quick. So if you have a budget on that, come over here and throw it in. If you're buying a single family home and you don't want to spend $3,000 a year on your HOA, put that in there. I'm not saying that's how much they cost, but you can set that budget. If you'd like a 2-story versus a ranch, you can come in here and do that. What type of flooring would you like? This is important in Florida for one reason. When you're buying a house here, y'all, if you're not from here, our soil is sandy. You go to beaches, there's sand everywhere, okay? Between the outside and coming in, you want to walk into a house. If you have carpet, it can ruin that carpet very quickly. You'll typically see carpet in the bedrooms, but not in the living areas, especially in the entry point. Just an FYI. You see a lot of tile because we also have termites here, but there are wood. I've got hardwood floors. I've got tile in the entry. We have hardwood everywhere else. We don't dig carpet. We're not carpet people. But hey, I just want to make sure you can see that. If you buy a condo, you want to know if there's any restrictions on pets. And this comes right from our MLS, so you get to look that up specifically. How many pets do they allow? Some of these condominium associations only allow for 1 pet, and they have to be a specific size, so you need to know that. The other thing, if you're not from the area here, is we have adult communities, meaning that they're 55 and up. So you see these communities like, oh, that's an awesome condo. And then you go find out you can't live there because you're 48 years old. So come in here and make sure you're setting that filter. These are important things, y'all. If price per square foot is important to you, you can use that as well. Obviously, you can come down here and start to dial in these features even more. I just wanted to give you a tour of these pro tools that we use here. And then let's jump into property real quick and just check one out. So we're going to jump into one of these properties. And I want to show you a couple more tips and tricks real quick. Here's an example. This house is listed for $399,500. I'm not saying it's good or bad. I'm just showing you example. These style tiles you see here, y'all, you're going to find these everywhere. These 12 by 12 and these 18 by 18s. This grout used to be white, FYI. So don't let anybody fool you with that nonsense. Some of it was tan, but mostly that's just years of staining. So heads up. Here's what else you can do on our site. You can jump down and schedule a tour with us. And oh, by the way, if you are getting value from this video, please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so you can be notified when we do more videos like this in the future. And it also helps us get out and serve other people just like you who are considering purchasing in the area as well. But come down on the site. It gives you all of the information. Hit the read more button. You can find the property description, all of the details, just like you can find on any other site. Remember, this is coming from the MLS feed, the multiple listing service. This is where all this information comes. We all use the same data, but the way that these sites are laid out, and more importantly, how you use it to your advantage, is the most important part. And here's the last thing I want to show you on this whole process here. When you come to the map, here's what you can't see on just any other site. Look at the house from a satellite view. And this is an above shot, but what I encourage people to do is jump in and do the walkthrough that you want to see what's going on right in front of the house. So and it pulled us out the wrong way here. It put us on the 2-lane. We want to be here. Go to the Google Street View and look and see if your neighbors are taking care of their properties. Look and see if there's a window busted on the outside of the home before they listed this property in the market and put all these big fancy photos up here to help sell this property. This is a very helpful tool. I hope this helped you guys. Again, any questions or you want to see specific things on this channel about buying and selling real estate, please feel free to put that in the comments below. I would love to help serve you. And again, good luck with that home shopping. All right, so I hope that information was extremely helpful to you when it comes to getting the slight edge over other buyers in the market here in Tampa, Florida. Don't forget to hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. That way you can be notified every time we drop another video just like this, packed with value. And if you'd like more information on moving to the area, or if you're considering investing or relocating, don't forget to reach out to my team here at the True Living Group. You can hit us through the phone calls, emails, text messages. Heck, you can DM us on Instagram, whatever it is. When it comes to moving to Tampa Bay, Florida, we here at the True Living Group have got your back. And until next time, go out and live that Tampa life.